Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Celtic and the B team. Take a drink of coffee before we go into this, I think. Celtic and the B team and Celtic losing players has been a bone in contention for everyone at Celtic. All the Celtic fans around the world. It has been a bone of contention ever since we lost Ben Doak. Ben Doak was a player that was brought in by Ange Postecoglou from the B team. We're given a fleeting insight into how good the player was potentially, and it was one of the first. Well, it wasn't one of the first, but it was just he was another player that decided that his time at Celtic had come to an end because he didn't see a pathway into the first team, which has been something that has just kept on happening, isn't it? Jackie McNamara, his agent. Yes, his agent has spoken. We're going to listen to what Jackie was asked by Cy Tierney.
Oh, wow, that gives you insight into how that came about.
No, I watch him 15.
Is that what you did? You got under 15?
No, I go all round, to be honest. All round, I think.
Were you going there particularly to watch him or just see him by chance?
I was at that point, and then I went away to watch him with Scotland 17s. But everybody was trying to get him. And then I signed with him. He signed with us, and then obviously Celtic. They were trying to get him to extend and stay. Ange had put him in a couple of times.
This is where the dramatic music comes in. You ready for this?
But I think if he kept him in and kept him in the first team, the problem is that we're just talking about. If you're not in the first team, and they need something in between that. You know, to get the boys to go. No disrespect to the lower league and yourself, but I think when you're at a certain level, it's stimulation. You need to go and play and be tested. Like, so there's somewhere else that the boys can go if they're not in the first team.
That's interesting that he says that, and we all know that that's the case. But Brendan Rodgers has spoke about the fact that a football education is they come from the B team, they get into the first team, and then they maybe go out on loan the way that Callum McGregor has done. So Ben Doak decides to then leave Celtic and go on to Liverpool. He gets a couple of games in the first team and then he's put out on loan. Exactly what he would have done at Celtic.
But I think if they kept him in at that point, he might have wanted to stay.
But how could you have kept him in the first team when you've looked at the players that were in the first team at the time? I mean, who do you drop on a weekly basis? That's the hard decision that obviously Ange had to do at the time.
Flying at Middlesbrough as well, and he's
injured now, but I think he's special. I think when I watched him with Scotland, and watched him with my pals that I'll not play for it. I went, you will. Said he's got it. He's special.
How proud are you when he goes and does that?
I watched him with Scotland in the 17s against England, and I just sit there and you know what he's going to. Even there's like a small space. And there's two guys up against him, and you just that determination, and you actually just laugh because he's got to just determination. And obviously the Croatia game he was unbelievable. But again, it doesn't matter if it's that guy or 16-year-old he's playing against or reserve game. It doesn't matter to him. It's just he treats it the same, and I think boys like him are a dying breed that have that
confidence,
and they're not a robot. They want to go and make something happen, and that's why you go and watch football.
So do you need to go and speak to Klopp?
Yeah.
Did you need to go and speak to Klopp?
No, I met him when he'd signed, that was all, but no, I don't speak to the managers about their stuff.
Is it like sporting directors or something like that?
When they're signing, yeah, you deal with them. They're obviously the managers are separate from that.
How was Klopp alright?
Brand new, huh?
The Crystal Palace put a £50 million bid in for Doak in January?
No, they put a bid in for him, but it wasn't
not as much.
But
he'll play for Liverpool. Maybe no the new Salah there in front of him, but he'll be the future for Liverpool. My God, what a player!
You had McGregor for a bit, didn't you? Callum McGregor.
Yeah, aye.
It's interesting that what are Celtic doing wrong? I mean, the young lad's obviously left Celtic and he's in the past, and I know it's just bringing up the past, and Celtic fans don't really want to do that when we're talking about young players that have left. But and I'm trying to get into the mindset of what is going wrong at Celtic and why. I mean, I know that we put out some of the younger players to Admiral Wacker in Austria and that, but we're not seeing the fruition of that. We're about to lose Daniel Cummins this summer as well, due to the exact same thing. He's a young guy that's doing it for the B team. It's a level that's way below his pay grade. And it looks as if he could do it at the top level. But he's not getting near the team, is he? He's not getting anywhere near the team. And it's a perpetual thing that seems to be happening at Celtic. If they get into the first team, and then they're looking for some reassurances that they're going to remain in the first team. And Brendan Rodgers turns around and says to them, I can't guarantee you anything at football. Nothing's guaranteed. And the young guy goes, well, fuck it, I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to go somewhere else. And where a manager that believes in me is saying, yes, you come here, you get your football education, and you'll get in the first team. There seems to be something going wrong at Celtic. And maybe I'm way off the mark here. I mean, Brendan Rodgers is... And Brendan Rodgers has said many, many times, I've been well known throughout my career for bringing through young talent. Well, how about you start keeping a hold of some of this young talent at Celtic, Brendan, and saving us a few quid? Because if Ben Doak is going to be worth 30 to 40 million for Liverpool at the current valuation that they think he's at, we're missing out. If Daniel Cummins now leaves in the summer and he goes on to be a fantastic player and it was worth 20, 30 million, we're then missing out again. It's okay going out and buying the likes of Arne Engels for 10, 11 million, but are you going to turn them into a 30, 40 million pound player? It's easier to turn a player from the young talent that he is at Celtic, coming through Celtic, into the next Kieran Tierney that you sell on for 25 million. And then it's just sheer profit. And that's what the club is all about. The club is all about sheer profit. Let's listen to see what he said about Luke McCowan and the fact that that deal didn't look as if it was going to happen.
Luke McCowan in the summer.
But did you do Luke McCowan's deal at Celtic?
Yeah. We've been looking after Luke since he was at Ayr years ago. So it was good because I'd met him, we took him at one of the Champions League games years ago. I was like, you could play at this level. And then obviously went to Dundee, done well at Dundee, and then in the summer he moved. Which was, you see his wee face when he comes out and that, it's brilliant.
So how close was he going to Hibs?
Hibs obviously were in for him, but Celtic were sort of wanting him as well. But it was nothing, done at the time or anything. It was just all last minute. So it was like, for him, it was like the same as I was a wee boy leaving Dunfermline, to go to Celtic and that in the last minute of the window. You see his face come out and it's just a dream come true for him, and that's... Is
that the best part? So you get a phone call from Celtic saying we want to take McCowan now, then do you get to make that phone call to tell him it?
Yeah, it was back, because we thought it was off and then it was back on, and it was all last, because it was too rushed. It was all last minute. Obviously they signed other ones than that day. So that's...
What did he say when you told him?
No, because I think he thought it was off and he was going back up to Dundee, and then it's like, right, you need to turn the car, we're going back to Celtic Park to sign your medical.
He's been brilliant this season as well.
He's good, he's a great boy, it's
met him a couple of times, he's a good boy.
And that's the good part of the job, when you see that they get a chance to go and do that and live their dream.
Amazing.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Jackie McNamara talking about Ben Doak and talking about Luke McCowan, who, let's face it, is a fantastic player, but what could Ben Doak have been at Celtic, and how do you feel about the fact that there is so many players that have came through the ranks at Celtic and we've missed out on? Will Celtic get this guy in the summer? We were talking about that last night on the live. If you missed that, I'll put a link to it towards the end of this video. Another Celtic news this morning. It's interesting to hear this. It's interesting to hear Jackie talking about the fact that if Ange had kept him in the first team, he maybe would have stayed at Celtic. And that gives you into the mindset of so many of the younger players that have left. Anyway, Rio Hatate, that rumours, well, it's not rumours, it's everyone seems to be talking about it now, and it looks like Rio Hatate will be one Celtic player that will leave Celtic this summer. Transfer window is slowly approaching. We're a couple of months away yet, but Still got the season to win, still got the league to win, and we've still got the Scottish Cup to win. It's a fantastic game this weekend with the Scottish Cup. Hibernian are bringing the best part of 7,000 fans. They were given 7,000, an increased allocation to 7,000 tickets. They announced yesterday that they've sold over 6,000 tickets. There's not been a big allocation given to any away support since Rangers decided to spit the dummy out. Yes, when Rangers spat the dummy out and reduced the allocation, Celtic did likewise, and now it's had to go through the SFA and the SPFL and everything to get the fans back in, and we all know why they spat the dummy out. It's because they didn't like the fact that Celtic were winning at their own ground. Let's not say that it was for safety. Let's keep the truth out there. And the reason that the allocation was reduced is because Club 1872 got in touch with Dave King and went, "We've had enough of these Fenians working celebrating at Celtic Park." They've had enough of Celtic Park and Ibrox, and they wanted to cut the allocation to increase revenue for our own fans, and we can out-sing them. And when the stadium empties on the 70th minute when Celtic are winning, it looks even more embarrassing. So yeah, that's basically what happened with them. It's always great taking the piss out of them. It's just entertainment, so get over it, Hans. Anyway, the fact that there will be a 7,000 allocation is going to be great for Scottish football, and it's going to show the rest of the world, and it's going to show the TV audiences what they're actually missing with it increased. Now, why are they getting such a big allocation when it comes to the Scottish Cup? And why don't Hibs give us that back when we go to play Hibernian? It'll be interesting to see what happens. Is this the turning point? Is this Celtic and Hibernian showing the rest of the SPFL that teams that have a go and increased fans, away fans at games, can only be good for the game? Maybe this is Celtic kind of just in the back door, sticking the wee knife in the back of the teams out there that say, look, reduce the Celtic allocation, we don't want other fans. Well, get your own fans coming to games. You know, Hibernian are proof of the pudding. Get your own fans going to games, fill your own grounds, make your own cash, stop complaining. But anyway, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic game this weekend, but Rio Hatate is one player that is, at 27-year-old, he is contracted until 2028, but the extended contract that he did sign, I think it was a year or two ago, does mean that if another club wants to sign them, there'll be a substantial fee. I reckon that fee will be in the region of about £10 million. I don't think that he's worth more. I mean, people say he's a fantastic, and he does have the talent, but it's what people value, that talent, and I don't think, I mean, are we honestly going to put him up there with the price of like Matt O'Reilly? Is that the price that you see him? I don't think that he does enough for 90 minutes of a game to show that he's a £25 million player. You never know, Celtic might get lucky and somebody might come in for 20 million for Rio Hatate. It's a player that has made 45 appearances across all competitions this season, but his consistency and his ability to perform, although we know he has it, he is a player that I think that will be sold this summer. He's a player that the same as Kyogo was told by their international manager that they need to be playing at a higher level. But let's face it, Rio Hatate has said twice in the past 2 summers to media in Japan that he wants to play domestic football at a higher level. Let's see if anybody comes in for him this year. There was an offer came in for 10 million from him towards the end of the summer window last year, and that was rejected by Celtic because it was too late in the window. This could be the last potential big move of his career for him to make decent money. Rio Hatate, who's on around about 15 to 18 grand a week, I'm not too sure. But anyway, that would open the door to Lennon Miller coming into Celtic. Would Lennon Miller is only going to come to Celtic if he is guaranteed first team football. He's not going to be a bench warmer. He's a first team player. His dad has come out and said that in various podcasts, that they will think about his next move, because he's not going to be a bench warmer. He said himself as a player that he's not going to go up the food chain to sit on the bench. He'd rather play for a club like Motherwell and play every single week. He's not going to go to Celtic if he's not guaranteed first team football. And then comes the old thing, is Brendan Rodgers going to say, look lad, I can't guarantee you anything in football, but come try your hardest and you'll get a game. That's old school management pish, Brendan. And this day and age, the modern younger player I'm sorry, but you've got to put a wee arm round them, because they're wee lovelies these days. You know what I mean? They're wee special. That generation, they need a wee bit of a cuddle until everything's all right, and then it's they do need that. It's facts, and I think that Brendan Rodgers can make Lennon Miller a better player. We did put a poll on the video last night, which was interesting, asking could Lennon Miller be better than Rio Hatate, potentially, and there were 74% said yes. So tell me in the comments, do you think that Lennon Miller could be a better player? He's obviously a lot younger than Rio Hatate for Celtic, but ultimately I think he could be sold for a lot more. Celtic are in a great bargaining position when it comes to it. I think that if they get the player, if they get him, or whether Rio stays or not, I think that Lennon Miller would be a fantastic addition. And I'll be honest, I've said for long enough, I think this will be the last season that we'll see Rio Hatate at Celtic. And I've also said that it could potentially be the last season that we will see Dyson Maeda, and whether you like that or not, it is just my opinion, but I've been pretty much spot on with these type of things over the last couple of seasons. I just think that the Celtic model is a model where a player, I mean, they get to a certain level, he's scoring goals the way he is, he's running and what he brings to the team, and people are saying, Celtic fans are saying, look, you cannot sell Dyson, he's irreplaceable. Is Yang the replacement for Dyson Maeda? I'm just putting it out there. And people say he's only played 3 games and been good in 3 games. Shut the fuck up, Baz. Like, it's all about opinions and it's all about views. And this channel is called The One Celtic Fans View. And on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day. Yes, if you're still watching to this point, thank you. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.